MATHIS Ligt is back in conversations for Manchester United as Ineos looks set to go for two centre-backs in this summer transfer window. My name is Webb. This is the United Sport. It is a news wrap here of everything Man United, but there is a new one that has just broken. I'll focus mostly on this one. Guys, thank you so much for liking and subscribing. I do remind you to do subscribe and most importantly, like these videos, guys. If we push to 100 likes for me, that will be a huge win, and honestly it's energizing if you do that. Let's get into it. So this is a credible source, one of the most credible guys lately when it comes to transfer talk. David Ornstein of The Athletic has come out to say Man United seriously considering move to sign Matthijs de Ligt from Bayern Munich. No club talks yet to or certainty a move happens, but Bayern centre-back increasingly viable option for Manchester United FC, independent of ongoing Gerard Branthwaite interests. This is according to David Ornstein of The Athletic. Now, guys, I spoke about the Matthijs de Ligt interest before, and I told you that Ineos could be willing to go for two centre-backs, which I think we've been all hoping for in the event that we also lose Harry Maguire, because I told you still, whereas reports are suggesting that if Maguire is still at Man United until September, they will trigger the one-year contract extension in his current contract, but he is still among the players we expect will leave if a good offer comes in for him. Now, so de Ligt is the other option that Ineos are looking at. Honestly, I'm going to spend a minute to talk about de Ligt for us to understand the kind of player this is and why this should be an exciting move if Manchester United proceeded to go for Matthijs de Ligt. The thing about de Ligt is he's 24, first of all. He's young. That's a good thing about him. He has worked with Erik ten Hag before at Ajax. He knows him and what he can do. But even before Erik ten Hag ever thought he would ever join Manchester United, Matthijs de Ligt was linked to Manchester United from way back, from as early as 2018, when I think he shone the best in his career. Manchester United was linked with him. And de Ligt has a couple of good things that you need to note about him. One of them is the fact that, first of all, he's young. Being 24, that's a big advantage. But secondly, de Ligt in his youth ranks played as an attacking midfielder. Then he was molded into a centre back, a two-footed centre back, by the way, who has got immense technique. He has got the physique. He has got the calmness that's enviable. I do remember at the peak of his, I think his time at Ajax, he was praised for two things mostly: for his calmness, the way we are praising Kobe Mainu now for being so calm. He was praised for that, but also for his leadership abilities. At 18, he was the captain of Ajax. So he has got these two attributes that would make him a very good player, but also in terms of his game, his technique, his ability to play out from the back also makes him stand out. He has got so many good elements about his game that you think can fit into a club like Manchester United. And that's why clearly Ineos and United, even before Erik ten Hag, even before Ineos, they have been insisted on him. But it's not surprising that even up to now, there is still interest in him. I would tell you, I think the last youngster who amazed the world of football at such a young age, even if he was not playing for your mainstream club, was him. Before, you see the way we are praising, the way Kobe Maino came and shook football at a young age, at 18. De Ligt is the last very young player like that to shake and amaze football. So I think after him, then Kobe comes. No other player at 18 came and shook us. I think the next one now is Lamal, obviously of Barcelona. But most of the attributes that we saw in Kobe at 18, this boy had when he was at that age, though he was playing for a fringe club in Ajax. That's why he was signed later for Juventus, and of course, from Juventus, he joined Bayern. Now, speaking of him joining Bayern, the issue, United inquired before about his price, and the response from Bayern was apparently they rate him, they value him at about 70 million euros. Now, Bayern themselves bought him at about 77 million euros from Juventus in 2022. He has played about 55 games. The last season, the issue he has had is injuries, because last season he started only 16 games for Bayern Munich. Injuries have been sort of fed at him. Now, whereas Bayern responded with a valuation of about 70 million euros, which is just over 50 million pounds. Manchester United do value him at about half of that. So Man United are only willing to pay about 30 million pounds for him, about 29 point something million pounds. That's what Man United do feel he's worth. and that's what they were willing to put in for him. But Bayern are hoping to hold out for over 50 million. So there is that, imbalance in terms of valuation of the player, because Man United feel his fitness and stuff, but also he has not really, of course, the injuries have played a part, but he has not really shown at Bayern the way he would. Probably the usage of the player has not been to the levels you would want him to be used to be able to flourish. So reuniting him with Eric Ten Hag ideally would bring the best out of him. So that's where the issue is. So the interest with the elite is there. Never mind us being interested in Gareth Branthwaite. And that's why I said the possibility now is that Ineos want to sign him and Branthwaite and sort the centre back department because Todibo is off. I think the elite is being looked at as now a backup for Todibo, who most likely is going to fall off because, of course, of the UEFA rules. So that is a bit of the perspective I wanted to share. But the elite, I told you of depth in both numbers. In depth is in many ways in football. It is in numbers. How many players do you have in a particular position? Depth is also in age. How many players? The valuation of players in age gives you depth, but also depth is in the ability of players to play several roles. Now, Delete has this about him. He can play both as a center back and a midfielder. I told you as a youth, he played as an attacking midfielder. So that gives him a more complete, view of the game. And that's why he's so calm and confident, and that's why he can give you an extra midfielder. And that is something Eric Ten Hag likes in the way he plays. A player who is going to come from the defense and give you an extra midfielder. Teams lately love to play with that extra midfielder, especially when they have the ball. They want to have an extra midfielder in there. I know Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp used to play like that. That's why you would see Trent Alexander-Arnold coming into the middle, or a striker falling into the middle, so that you have four midfielders at every one time. Teams love to play that way. That's why you saw Diogo Dalot cutting into the middle when you had the ball with Man United, to create an extra fourth body to add to the midfield. That at every one time you need to have four midfielders. Now, if you have a centre back who can drift into the middle and add to the midfield, it increases on the pressure you put on the opponent, on the press, if I would call it, and it makes you play better. So, and that's how modern teams, not just United, even Klopp, that's how he dominated with Liverpool. You would see, these different players, and it doesn't matter who, so long as there are four players in the middle at every one time when you have the ball. This is how teams love to play lately. So I think for me, he gives us a good dimension because of those abilities, those attributes that he's got. He's physical, he's good at set pieces because he's tall, he's a good pass of the ball, he's extremely technical, he's physical. The only prayer we need to have to make is he going to be fit? That's the only thing we need to pray about, his fitness. If he's fit, you're certain that the elite is a baller. But how much are we paying for him? 35 million or close to 40 million euros. That's about 30 million pounds is how much you value him. Bayern are saying they want 70 million euros. So that difference in valuation might cause the issues. But for me, as it seems now, it looks clear that Ineos are focused on Branthwaite and Delete, then Ogate, and then Joshua Zirkzee, and then we'll talk about the left back. We spoke about the Bournemouth youngster, Kakzi. We'll talk about him more and see if there are other options that emerge. But that is why give me your opinion and drop down in the comment section and let me know whether you think Mathis de Ligt and Jarrad Branthwaite would be success in terms of sorting the centre back issues that we have. Would that be success in your view? Let me know what you think. Of course, nothing is concluded yet, but these are credible sources. The interest is there. The conversations are going on. And like I told you in the background I gave you, this is a player that United has been monitoring for a long time. And I honestly think he makes sense. The only signing, for me, I would have no issues with Delete. The only signing I still have reservations about is Jarrad Branthwaite. That's the only signing I still have reservations about. Why go for Branthwaite when there is a Mark Guehi who is playing at the Euros and bowling, and they're almost at the same price? Perhaps Branthwaite is even cheaper. Rather, Guehi is even cheaper. So for me, that's a bit where I would have disquiets. But with Delete, unless the injury issues he has are big, but with Gary O'Driscoll coming through from Arsenal and all these guys that are poaching to try and help the sports medicine at Man United, I have no doubt that these guys will be able to assess a player, have a good medical, study their injury record, and get the right player in. If they do that, trust you me, we will be on. In the Ligt, we have a gem. So let's wait and see how it goes. Drop down in the comment section and give me your 2 cents about it, whether we should spend 70 million euros on Matthijs de Ligt. The least perhaps Bayern could go for might be about 45 million pounds, or they're about 45 million pounds maybe, the least. But still, that is after going back and forth. Let's wait and see how it goes.